Okay. We are back. Welcome in to the stream. I see that some of you guys were already here before I even turned my stream on because obviously the schedule was there. So thank you for that. I appreciate the support. It's probably going to be a bit of a short stream and a bit of a weirder one, a little bit different to what we're used to. Not only because it is absolutely roasting in England right now, as you can probably tell by the look of me. My hair is all wet because it is too hot to exist. My PC is going crazy. I don't know if you can hear the fans. There's about 7 fans in there and it's not enough to cool it down. So yeah, we're gonna try and keep this short and sweet. And obviously, as I've already done my kind of predicted lineup in the flip in the preview video before yesterday. There we go. So yeah, I'm not going to be doing I'm not going to be like going through everything individually. If you want to see my kind of pre-match, well, like prediction for that lineup, that's going to be obviously in that video, so you can go and watch that. As for this fixture, this is a fun one because I'm not going to lie, I think this is going to be a cakewalk. It sounds really horrible to kind of disregard Djurgarden as much as that kind of sounds, but like they are so lucky to be here. They are so lucky, and admittedly it's a bit of kind of underdog spirit and a bit of underdog grit and determination that's also got them here. Let's not count them out too much, but very, very lucky to get past the Legia. And out of all the teams we've kind of faced so far in the terms of the knockouts, Copenhagen, Legia Warsaw, they are much worse. They are much worse than those two teams. There we got a bingo before we've even opened the bingo card. Bloody hell. First stream with a new setup and everything being all nice, and the camera decides, you know what? Screw you. You're done in. But let me quickly pause the stream and get the chat popped out. Luckily, I can actually see the chat and luckily I can already see the chat, and it's actually showing up on my preview now, which is good. One in Australia, of course. But yeah, now I think I've fixed the chat on screen as well, hopefully, so you can now see that and it's not going to be all weird. But yeah, we'll get into the bingo card in a second. I've seen someone talk about Sanchez and Nkunku. I'm going to highlight that in a second because there is something I want to talk about in terms of the lineup. Let's move into this. Whoosh. Okay. So here's the bingo card for today. Not much different to what we're kind of used to. I put a Shim appearance because, yeah, I hope this is a really weaker side. I really hope that he gets some minutes at least. George, goal/assist. Again, he's 100% playing today. I hope he gets another goal contribution to keep that run going. That'll be good. Clean sheet as ever. Good crowd. Now I put this in because I reckon that the Swedes are going to be so loud. Obviously, we're at their home patch in Stockholm. I think it's going to be a really, really good atmosphere in the stadium. Hopefully, that doesn't intimidate us too much. And obviously, with the way that their team's probably going to play in this game, probably going to be a bit more pragmatic. I think they might be a bit more subdued, hopefully, but I think they're going to be really loud. So that's good. Subs make the difference. We've had this in here a few times. Just basically, we've kind of seen it recently where we don't start very fast. And I highlighted this in my pre-match preview. We don't start fast enough, and I think that after we make subs, we kind of kick into gear, so I think that will be another one. Early goal, that's been in here again. I've got 2 right backs out of position, because this is for if we see Joshua Chempong and James at some point in this game both be playing at centre mid, and no one playing at right back. So that's for over 3 goals scored. I reckon, and spoiler for my prediction coming up in a bit, I reckon there's going to be quite a lot of goals in this game. So that's if there is more than 3 goals in the game. Game of 2 halves, as we always have. Unlikely goal scorer, as we always have. These ones are always the same that we always have. Player book for descent, clean tackle, Maresca ball, ref/VAR mistake. Defensive howler, I've left this in from last week just because I feel like this could be a thing that happens. Regardless of whether this is our team or their team, this will get ticked off. Worldie's always on there. This is a weird one. I don't know why, but I have a feeling that Tosin Adadabioyo is going to have a really, really good game today. I just feel it in my bones. So I thought, I usually have a shout for someone who's going to be player of the match in these bingo cards. He's the guy I've picked for today. Correct prediction as well. Again, that's for if I get the score prediction correct at the end of this. I've got set piece goal, that's always on here. Mono and vacation we can already tick off. I'll tick that off at feeling blue, but we know that can be ticked off. Palmer goal. I don't know if Palmer's going to be playing today, but with the news about Nkunku probably missing this game, I think Palmer might start, so he's going to be there. We get a weird sub that's been in here before. We have over 4 youth players. This is if over 4, that means 5 or more youth players from our team are on the pitch at the same time. And then first leg sorted for a win. Tosin hat-trick, for real, he could. I mean, I genuinely, I just have it in my bones. I woke up this morning and I said to myself, I said, Tosin is going to have an absolute defensive masterclass today, and he's going to score a bullet header from a corner. And I don't know, and I'm scared to say that because you guys know me. You know the meme. There's the mono jinx. I know saying that now, he's probably going to have a calamitous game. He's going to gift away an own goal, and everything's going to go Pete Tong. But hopefully I don't jinx it. Hopefully he can have a good game. But yeah, that's the bingo card for today. Now let's talk about, before we actually see the lineups come out, which I'll see when they do come out, and do let me know when that happens. Let's talk about the kind of, I just want to put out the lineup that I have for today. I've done this the wrong way around. I'm going to have to swap to this real quick whilst I sort this out, because I've put my canvases all the wrong ways, so I'm gonna have to put everything back to the way it used to be. So having to put in loads of new graphics and stuff to kind of complement the new new aesthetic has kind of ruined my flow that I had going on. So we'll try and fix this real quick. Sorry about this. Okay, we're nearly there. The thing about so the program which I use for my feeling blues and my previews and stuff like this is just a very standard basic program on Microsoft, which is called Microsoft Whiteboard. For some reason, you can't select multiple things and rearrange them at the same time. You have to do it all individually, which is rather annoying. But yeah, we're getting to the end of it. And boom. And boom. And boom. Right, cool. Sorry about that. We're back. So this is the lineup that I originally put out, which has Youngster in goal, Achempong, Tosin, Badiashile, James at left back, who's going to invert into midfield, Caicedo and Nkunku, Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, Sancho, George, and Madueke. Now, I think that there's a few changes going to come here, and I mentioned one of them in the comments of that preview that I did, because literally as I was uploading that video and I'd kind of finished it and I'd put it out for processing, the press conference came out, and lo and behold, who was in the press conference? Pedro Neto, which now puts a massive spanner in the works, because that means, in my opinion, that he's either starting over Madueke or starting over George in the centre forward position. So I'm going to be conservative here and say that I'm going to kind of change my predicted lineup here. I'm going to put Pedro Neto on at right wing and have Madueke out of the team. But also we have this problem with Nkunku. Now, Nkunku's not going to be playing. Obviously, Sanchez is also supposedly injured, but he wouldn't be playing in this game anyway. So Nkunku's not going to be here either. So I'm going to take Nkunku out. And now there's a big question of who plays here. Now, I think for balance sake, the best player that we could put here would be Enzo. However, I think Enzo is so important for the Liverpool game. I'm not going to put him in here. And it sounds absolutely blasphemous for me to say that, and then to be putting in, if I can find him, Cole Palmer into this role, because he's been so poor lately that I don't think that him being unfit, as it were, or not being fully rested for the Liverpool game will impact his performance pretty much. So I think this is kind of what we'll see. And again, in game, in fact, Palmer will be on this right side. Let's make sure that's right. In game, James will invert, and we have this kind of box, right, as always. I assume that this will be the way that we play. Now, a lot of people mentioned in the comments of that video that I made that maybe we see James invert into the midfield, rather Josh invert into the midfield instead. And I do believe that that's something we can do. We can 100% do this. As I said, we saw it in the Copenhagen game, Josh do this. I mentioned that in my preview, that Josh can do this very well. So maybe we see that instead. regardless, I don't think it matters. I think, again, this is going to be a game where we have a lot of control of the ball. I don't think we're going to have much in the way of threat coming back at us, except for on the left wing where they have Win. He's very, very pacey. He plays as he's a bit of a weird one because he plays at striker at times for them. But I've put him into left wing in my preview because I think that they're going to kind of rotate some players around. They've got two of their main players that have been playing in this competition. Which is Zugele and I've forgotten the name. This is poor from me. But they're both injured, or they're doubts for this game, so I don't think they'll play. And because of that, I think that they're going to have Win on the left side because he can play at left wing at times. So maybe we see that. And again, if that is the case, and we do have that threat down the left wing, who I think is their main threat, I would prefer to have James here, possibly, because I feel like he can deal with wingers much better. But then again, there's also the added thing of maybe Josh is the more pacier of the two and he can kind of deal with that a bit better, and we keep James in the midfield. The reason why I find this interesting as well is because James, obviously playing here, he has not played in a while. I think he plays the full 90 here. So I think if he plays the full 90, then it's a bit scary because that means Palmer is not Palmer. That means he's not going to be playing for the Liverpool game, I would imagine. The only thing that I feel that there's going to be a lot of players in this team, say Palmer if he plays, say Madueke if he plays. Obviously, I've taken him out now. James is another one. I feel like a lot of Caicedo is another one as well. I feel like a lot of players in this team are going to play 45 minutes and then be replaced. I'm hoping for a lot of youth involvement, and that's part of the reason why I put that on the bingo card. I really hope to see, if this was me, this is me doing a bit of a prediction. That's why I put George at striker. But I feel like Enzo is going to put out a pretty strong team. I wouldn't be surprised to see Jackson start. So Jackson could definitely start as well, but I've done this because I just want to see more youth players. I think really Shim should be starting this game. I don't think Djurgarden are particularly a tough team for us to beat, but the thing that we've kind of seen and the pattern we've seen with Enzo Maresca recently is that in the first leg of these 2-round ties, he always puts out a really strong side, and then he kind of coasts in the second game. Obviously, we saw that in the Legia game, that we battered them 3-0 in the first leg, and then in the second leg we really sat off and coasted, and he actually lost that game because we were coasting it so badly. So I think that we might see a similar thing here where we see a really strong side with maybe Palmer, Caicedo, maybe even Enzo in here, Jackson up top. But I'm being a bit more pessimistic and being like, you know what, just throw the kids on. We don't need a first 11, and we've got the Liverpool game. And Enzo kind of came out and said in the press conference that he's not going to be resting players for Sunday. We play every game as it comes, or something to that effect. I think the Liverpool game is more important than this one, if I'm being honest. If I'm being honest, I would put more eggs in the Liverpool basket than I would in this basket, because let's be honest, UCL qualification is really, really important. This is a 2-leg tie, so if we do flop this first leg, we have the second leg to come back and kind of get into the final with. And obviously we don't get a second chance with the Liverpool game, and that, I think the Liverpool game specifically is really, really important, because again, they're not going to be taking it as seriously. They've already won the title. They're going to be in hangover season, as it were, so they're going to be a bit more vulnerable. This is one of the kind of fixtures that we were dreading earlier, but we played really well earlier in the season, but we were kind of dreading this whole run through. Obviously Liverpool being one of the better teams, but there's teams that could drop points around us recently, and obviously Nottingham Forest and Newcastle, who are two teams that we are fighting with to get this top 5 spot, have to face each other as well. So one of those teams will be dropping points. We need every single point that we can get. Liverpool hopefully are vulnerable. In fact, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, today Brentford and Nottingham Forest are actually playing at the same time. Maybe a little bit earlier. Yes, they're kicking off at 7:30. So we pray that our southwest London neighbours can do us a favour and batter those guys. That would be great. Brian and Buemo, please just turn into Super Saiyan like you always do against us. That would be great. But yeah, so for the most part, I think this is going to be quite a coaster game. I think it's going to be a comfortable game. Yeah, hopefully this is just a good game of football. Like someone said in there, I think it was Bradley who said it. I hope that Palmer gets a goal today. He really needs a goal for his confidence. I don't care if it's a scuffed shot. I don't care if it's a tap in. I don't care if it's a deflected goal. I don't care if it's a penalty. I don't care. I just want him to score. He needs to get some confidence back into his veins before this Liverpool game, because he's going to be so important. But it would be so, I'm saying that, but I feel like in my bones, it would be so like Cole Palmer to not play well here, and then in the Liverpool game to just turn up out of nowhere and save our season. Like that would be so good. Someone asked about Guiu. Yeah, Crimson asked about Guiu. Yeah, Guiu, I believe, yes, I think it was the last round of this competition, the second leg of the Legia game, that Maresca basically said he's like 1 or 2 weeks away from fitness. Obviously, he had a really bad injury, so I think he'll be. I think he said something to the effect of like he's going to be back for the last 2 weeks. So maybe featuring against Forest if he plays. Maybe featuring in the final if we need a different striker there. If we depending. Hopefully featuring in the Club World Cup as well. We're gonna get some new faces in for the Club World Cup. Hopefully that'll be quite fun to see. We also get to hopefully face our incoming Esteval Willian, which would be fun. Because he's going to be playing for Palmeiras, I believe. We've kind of agreed that. It's about 45. It's 45 past now, so I'm going to check if the lineups are out. I don't think they are. If Kukurea was playing bad, do you think we would still have Chilwell? No, I don't think so. I think Chilwell. God, it's really sad to say about Chilwell, because I like the bloke. I think he's as an actual human being. At a human being level, he is a top bloke and a top professional. He never really recovered from that injury that he got, and he's just not the same player. And it's just like, it's really sad, because again, he's so good in certain moments, and he was such a good player to be around the squad in general, and such a good laugh for the guys that are in the dressing room. But I just never felt like he never felt like, after he got that injury, he just never felt like he was going to get back into the team. It feels kind of inevitable that he's going to be sold to Palace or sold to someone else. So Conference League won't be out till 9 o'clock yet. Probably. The team news, they have tweeted out 10 minutes ago that the team news is coming up, so hopefully it will be relatively soon. But yeah, I completely went off on a tangent and completely forgot what I was saying. It's my ADHD brain. This has completely failed me. The object permanence is gone. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Chilwell. But yeah, so he's another one where it's like, we have a few of them now. Like Carney Chukwuemeka is another one. Axel Disasi is another one. Even to some extent, maybe Renato Vega is one of them, where it's just like they came into the club and like they didn't immediately get into the kind of like, oh, they're 100% a starter immediately type of thing, and because they weren't 100% a starter, they've all kind of gone, well, the grass is greener somewhere else, we should probably go. Carney's an absolutely massive loss, but considering we're having negotiations for Jamie Gittins at the moment, I imagine that him going there is something that we are trying to kind of get over the line, because he's obviously staying at Dortmund. They seem to really want him. I think he's actually played pretty well in the short amount of time he's been there, to be fair. What's up with the black and white? That's my thing. That's my thing. I wanted to talk about this as well, right? That's actually a good. I'm glad that you've actually brought that up, because I thought about this and like, I don't think like a lot of people may be thinking this of like, hey, like, why have you done this change and stuff? Not only just because, again, I'm ADHD and I can't do the same thing for more than a certain amount of time before I get bored of it, but also just like, do you feel like other Chelsea creators on this platform, at least I do, and other football content creators on this platform, have just that one kind of thing about them that is like, ah yes, this is the guy that does this, this is the guy that does this. If anything at all, even if people don't like, if I don't like, people don't care about my channel or whatever, if my channel goes into the bin and I eventually have to quit this in 2 months, at least I want to be able to say, I'll have a group of people that would be able to say, ah, I remember that guy, that was the guy that did everything in black and white. That's it, he's the black and white dude. Lineups are out, hopefully. Let me get, let's go to this screen real quick, so I can get that up. Boom. Let's refresh this. Come on, Chelsea. Give me the lineup. Your semi-final team news, and Kukurea is in the team. Oh, this is interesting. Wait. This is rather peculiar. Rather peculiar, and I'm gonna have to change this again. Also, I saw your question about Morgan Rogers. I'm kind of indifferent. If he comes, cool. If he doesn't, I don't really care either way. He's not like for me, he's not like a barn burner signing that really inspires me, but I'm not gonna say like, oh, he's terrible and I don't want him here. We've seen it with other players that have come here that people said that about and they've been good. So the lineup is as follows. Jurgensen in goal. We have Achempong, Tosin and Badiashile with Kukurea in the left back's role. We have James playing as the captain in midfield alongside Kiernan Dewsbury Hall. We have Madueke on the right side. Enzo is in the team. Sancho is in the team. And George is the striker. Oh, really interesting bench as well here, actually. Whoa. First of all, 2 goalkeepers on the bench. Second of all, Ted Curd. Ted Curd, you know, ex-United goalkeeper, Ted Curd. Big boy on the bench. That's really cool for him. I'm glad that he's got that. Colwell on the bench, Chalobah on the bench, Gusto's on the bench. That's crazy that Gusto's on the bench. Because he's had like a really bad hamstring injury. I don't think he'll play, but maybe he's just there to make up the numbers. Caicedo on the bench, Amugu on the bench, Reggie Walsh, the 16-year-old on the bench. Cole Palmer on the bench, Neto on the bench, Mweka on the bench, and Jackson on the bench. Half of these players I do not think will even see the field. I think the majority of our players are going to kind of stay here. So let's kind of change this into what we actually see here. Oh, this is interesting. So we've got no Caicedo, so he can go out. James going to be playing in midfield, and then Marc Cucurella is the left back, who I imagine will invert. Maybe we see not Cuckoo inverting. Maybe we see Josh inverting to be next to James, and Cuckoo plays as the left back. But with Tosin in the lineup, I imagine he plays in the midfield. Another thing I wanted to mention. Look at this at the bottom. Presented by Damac, our new front of shirt sponsor. I think that is such a snide bit of business, by the way. They said, hey, screw it. You can have a sponsor for the last 4 games of the season. Get some money. Get some potential other suitors in as well. Prove why that we do have that pull power. And also, I think it's a bit of a sneaky thing, because I believe, I'm not too clued up on this, so to take this with a pinch of salt. I believe this is a company that deals with architecture and kind of building skyscrapers and stuff in Dubai. So could be a slight inquest into maybe they are helping us with stadium plans too. Maybe that would be fun. So that's quite interesting. But yeah, so let's kind of fix this. Jordan, Badiashile, Kukurea, Dewsbury Hall, Madueke is in, so I took him out, but he is actually playing. So there we go. Madueke's in. Is Neto playing? No, he's not. Enzo's playing as well. Do I have Enzo? I do. Enzo. So Enzo instead of Palmer, right? Palmer's on the bench, yeah. Enzo, Kiernan Dewsbury Hall. In fact, I assume this would be the other way around. Enzo would play on this side. Kiernan Dewsbury Hall. Madueke, Sancho on left side. Oh, this is really bizarre how this is actually lined out on the team sheet, by the way. Because this isn't laid out like a 4-3-3. This is laid out like a 4-2-3-1. And it's suggesting that Enzo Fernandez is playing as the 10. You see that? How it has Madueke in the line. It has Madueke, Enzo, Sancho. So that's very bizarre. That is very, very bizarre. Which means that obviously Kiernan Dewsbury Hall would be playing as this other midfielder, this holding midfielder, and Kukurea would be at left back. Obviously, if I adjust this in the actual lineup in the 4-2-3-1. So this is kind of what we see. Obviously, this is probably not going to stay like this, I would imagine. But we did see some kind of some talk about Enzo kind of being expected to get in the box more. So yeah. So maybe that's what he's tasked to do. He's playing as a 10 today. Do I think this is going to be happening? Probably not. I imagine what's actually going to happen is that Enzo will move over to the right side and Kukurea will play here. That's kind of what I assume with this. And yeah, take it with a pile of salt as well, because the people that make the graphics aren't the people that make the actual team. even though it says that George is playing as a striker, he could very well be playing on one of the wings, and maybe Sancho or Madueke could be playing as a false 9. I doubt that, admittedly, but yeah, could definitely be this way. I think this is a strong team. I'm very surprised that Enzo is playing. I think that is a very, very weird thing, because I think he's going to be so important for Liverpool. I do like the fact that Caicedo has been rested, though. He's very important. Obviously, Jackson and Palmer have also been rested. I think that's important for the Liverpool game. Those three in particular, I think, are going to be key for that. I would like to see Amugu come off the bench. I want to see Shim come off the bench. I think Shim coming on for Madueke is probably what's going to happen here, with George going into the right wing or left wing, regardless of whichever way these two want to face it. These two want to swap around, Sancho and George, and then Mweka will come on at striker. That would be nice. Who else? I mean, it's weird Gusto being there. I'm scared of him being there. Neto will probably come off the bench as well. Colwell will probably come off the bench for a short stint. But yeah, very strong lineup. Wouldn't KDH be the 10? Yes, see, no, this is what I would say. I would imagine in game that's what he would be doing. I would imagine he would play there. But what I'm referring to here is, if you look at the team sheet and how it's laid out, it says Madueke, Enzo, Sancho, which means that Enzo is in the middle, because everything comes from right to left, which is weird, because I don't know why they've set it out like this. We don't play a 4-2-3-1. We never have. We always play a 4-3-3. So I'm not sure why the graphic maker has put it out that way. But in reality, in the game, we're either going to see Cucurella playing here as a 10, or Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall is going to play as a dual 10, and Cucurella is going to play a bit deeper. But either way, both of these two will be up high. And with the opposition that we face, in terms of the fact that they're going to be sitting back quite a lot, pretty much every one of these players is going. I think we're probably going to see in game. We're actually going to see this. We see Tosin and Badiashile on the halfway line. James acting as this sweeper in front of them. Josh really up high with Madueke. Sometimes coming into midfield to support, with Enzo going outwards to support Madueke as well. And then Cucurella just here. You know, he pops up everywhere. Cucurella can go there. Sancho here. I think that's basically what we're going to see. We're going to see for this game. So we're going to see both of Badiashile and Adalabioyo kind of sitting here, waiting for the long balls, because we're going to step on them. We're going to force them to try and play long. Long balls go over the top. Jurgensen can clean those up as a sweeper keeper. We can kind of keep the pressure on them by playing it back and keeping it high up here. James can help out as well when he goes back, but as I said, I think that majority of the players here are just going to have free roles and just go wherever they want, which is kind of fun. I like seeing that happen. But yeah, very, very strong lineup from Enzo Maresca today. Very big statement of intent. And I think that this kind of shows that he wants to put this game to bed early. I'm going to make a wild prediction for my score prediction here. This is a weird, again, it's a weird game, and I feel like we're going to score a lot of goals, and I've got a lot of confidence in our team. I'm going to guess for my score prediction that Chelsea win this game 4-1. That's my prediction, 4-1, because I feel like they might get a cheeky goal from a set piece, or you know, like a sloppy late goal because we've already won the game and we're kind of coasting or something like that. Possibly play the diamond, yeah. You could definitely play the diamond. But if we do play the diamond, I imagine Enzo would be as the 10, which is again really weird. But yeah, that's definitely an option too. Thank you guys for hanging out as ever though, because yeah, this was a bit of a new type of stream. I said I wasn't going to stream for very long. It's very hot. I'm sweating. I'm dripping, and my camera has gone dark because the sun has actually gone away. So that's fun. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy the game. Obviously, I will be doing Feeling Blue after the game as well, so I'll be live again for that. So don't miss that. I haven't pre-registered that stream because I have to make thumbnails and stuff in between. But yeah, that'll go. I'll kind of go live like within 20 to 30 minutes after the game. Obviously, don't know how long the game is going to go for, so because obviously with added time and stuff, I can't guarantee that. But yes, thank you guys for hanging out as ever. Let's move to this end screen. And I hope that my mic is still recording. It is, cool. As I said, thank you guys for watching so much as ever. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the rest of your evening until Feeling Blue. Peace.